I was in a relationship
Mm.
and I had developed fibroids. And when I tell you, I did everything under the sun naturally, and things did not change for me until I looked at an emotional gap I had, until
Mm.
I looked at a place where I was, um, in a way, where I was kind of emotionally stagnant, where I had kind of like a blind spot, and I didn't know I had that blind spot.
Mm.
And it started showing up, and I started saying, oh, these things are correlating to my health. I was overworking myself. I was doing this to achieve, and a lot of what society is do this, do this, do this. And I was forgetting about my emotional health. Sometimes I was pushing things down, or I had grown up as a child where I was mostly being everybody else's emotional support
Right.
and never learning to be my own, or never learning to put myself first. And so I had to learn how to do that and reparent myself and put myself in a different position. And that's what closed the gap for me, because a
Mhm.
lot of my channel, you see me on live and I talk about other things, but the top thing is stress and trauma are a big part of our health epidemic that's really going on here,
Right.
the issues. And I think a lot of people don't see that. So that's what kind of closed the gap for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, definitely stress and just mental health plays a big role in terms of just holistic health as a whole. And I think people gloss over that, and it's not just like the diet and the supplements you take, but it's also how you manage stress and things like that. That plays a role in how you heal.
Polish in my hand, I'm ready to create each nail a masterpiece. I can hardly wait. Soft pastels or vibrant hues, each tells a tale in their artistry of nails. Nothing ever fails. With each swirl and twirl, let the magic begin. In this kingdom of gloss, there's no end to the wing. Gloss on my fingertips, watch them shine bright. Painted like a canvas, colors taking flight. Feeling fierce and fabulous, I'm ready to ignite. Slaying the nail game every single night. Nails and beauty talk with Asia the Bird. Nails and beauty talk with Asia the Bird.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. Today, we have a very special guest with us today. She is the founder of Purpler RX. Please welcome Dr. Renata. Hello, Dr. Renata, and welcome.
Hi. Well, thank you for having me. This is actually something I like. Health and beauty has kind of been partly my thing. That was something I wanted to kind of get into, but usually health and beauty starts within, and that's what we don't talk about enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Most definitely. I totally agree with that. So, where are you originally from, and tell us about your upbringing?
I'm originally from Dallas, Texas. I
Hmm.
was born in Dallas, Texas. We moved to Plano, which is probably like a suburb of Dallas.
Hmm.
My upbringing, a lot of what I know and what I do now is really a big part of my upbringing. I had a mother that was, let's eat right. I had a dad who was in Whole Foods before Whole Foods was hot.
Right.
And he was always looking for something holistic. Both families were kind of farming families, and medicine is not our thing. Let's look at something holistic. Let's look at something that is herb or food or something you need to change. You need to work out. We were always in sports. I kind of grew up already in that family. So
Right.
what I'm doing now kind of feeds into that. The
Hmm.
household I grew up in was Christian household, but no, it was Christian household. It was a little bit strict, but those
Yeah.
things were important. Beauty was kind of important. My mom's side was beauty, a little bit of vanity,
Hmm.
a good amount, but a good amount of what are you eating, what are you not eating. You may be overeating things like that. Food and kind of weight was a thing as well. And my dad's side, like I said, what food are you eating? Let's go to the grocery store. Oh, you're sick. Let's rather get echinacea rather than some thing that the doctor is giving. He was
Yeah.
kind of in that mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what was like your school experience like in terms of grade school, college, things of that nature?
So the area I grew up in it was a good school system, but it was predominantly white. It was a predominantly
Hmm.
white area. I got a good education, and it was, growing up in a predominantly white area, you get some microaggressions. I made some friends or cool people, but you're gonna get those microaggressions. I never thought I was beautiful probably until later on in life because you are around people that think one thing is more beautiful than what you have, your hair, the way you look, how your how my mom did my hair, how I dressed. And I also, I guess from that, learned to be, it's okay to be unique. It does, you may not fit in with the crowd. But I think later on in high school, there was more, middle school and high school, there were more and more Black people that were feeding in. And so I
Mm-hmm.
got more in a group in that. And in high school, from high school, I actually went to a predominantly Black school. I went to HBCU, Xavier University of Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
That was in New Orleans, and
Wow.
that was, I mean, I was in a predominantly Black city at that point.
Yeah.
It was something I chose when I was 15. I was saying I wanted to go to med school. I was originally going to be like a dermatologist because there was this dermatologist here in Dallas, only Black dermatologist, and he made his
Mm-hmm.
own drug. So I kind
Yeah.
of wanted to do that, and then I was like, when I found out that, oh, as a pharmacist, because my school was also known to have had a pharmacy school, and it was a well-known pharmacy school.
Right.
It was a pretty reputable one, and so that's kind of what got me into from the lane of pre-med to getting into pharmacy and staying into pharmacy, seeing that I can make my own products and have that flexibility within pharmacy, and I actually loved it more, and I didn't have to do so much crazy school.
Mm-hmm.
But I really do love the school that I went to. I went there for undergrad as well as graduate school.
Mm-hmm.
So I really loved it and I appreciated the information they gave us because it was information that was different, that was going to be different than other schools because they knew the community we were looking to serve.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So you spoke in a video about getting a kidney transplant during your first year of pharmacy school. Due to this experience, was this the driving force behind getting into holistic health?
That wasn't exactly the driving force. I believe I was already on that track and trajectory because I saw health in a lot of that way. I saw health as we need to eat differently, the things in our food, the what we have access to, especially in our community, or don't have access to. I thought meds, yes, they were. I always thought meds were kind of a later result. And again, like I said, the way I grew up is
Mm-hmm.
what you. It's about what you eat, what's going on. But sometimes there's diseases that no matter what you eat, they might come about. What really like closed the encompassing for me, what like closed the gap for me was not so much the kidney transplant because it was a genetic disease that kind of started expressing, I think, when I was
Yeah.
18 and came to um, full capacity when I think it was about 23, 24. And it wasn't so much just me getting a transplant because I didn't get to see the emotional aspect until later that played a role and plays a role in your health. And so that's really what closed the gap more for holistic. Because again, in pharmacy, we talk about health. A lot of that we talk about health. Well, we talk about food and food being your major thing,
Mm-hmm.
and starting with diet, even though a lot of people didn't push it that way, I really wanted to push it. And that's what I was really talking about, nutrition and diet and what are you eating, where can you find the most nutrition in. But it really closed the gap for me when I got fibroids. I was in a relationship
Mm-hmm.
and I had developed fibroids. And when I tell you I did everything under the sun naturally and things did not change for me until I looked at an emotional gap I had, until
Mm-hmm.
I looked at a place where I was, um, in a way, where I was kind of emotionally stagnant, where I had kind of like a blind spot, and I didn't know I had that blind spot.
Mm-hmm.
And it started showing up, and I started seeing, oh, these things are correlating to my health. I was overworking myself. I was doing this to achieve, and a lot of what society is do this, do this, do this. And I was forgetting about my emotional health. Sometimes I was pushing things down, or I had grown up as a child where I was mostly being everybody else's emotional support
Right.
and never learning to be my own or never learning to put myself first. And so I had to learn how to do that and reparent myself and put myself in a different position. And that's what closed the gap for me because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of my channel, you see me on live and I talk about other things, but the top thing is stress and trauma are a big part of our health epidemic that's really going on here,
Right.
the issues. And I think a lot of people don't see that. So that's what kind of closed the gap for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, definitely stress and just mental health plays a big role in terms of just holistic health as a whole. And I think people gloss over that, and it's not just like the diet and the supplements you take, but it's also how you manage stress and things like that. That plays a role in how you heal.
Most definitely. If you aren't getting in tune with yourself, what your needs are, if you are making sure everybody else's needs are great, if you aren't looking at the gaps that you may have in caring for yourself mentally and emotionally, because that's an emotional intelligence thing. If you aren't taking care of that, if you aren't taking care of the things spiritually, those are going to play a huge part in how you heal. Because sometimes we can, like I said, I had all the things and did everything that was told, but the one thing that I was missing was I had to emotionally get with myself. I had to release things. I had to get into a deeper relationship with God and Jesus Christ, because that helped me to get to that point. That helped me
Mm-hmm.
to see where there were holes and gaps. He helped me to see those things. He helped me to see where I needed to do work and different work with things I didn't see, what, like I said, what blind spot I had, because a lot of us have a blind spot and we don't know because we're not, there's a different level of awareness that we have to get to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, most definitely. So you have your own business called Purpler RX. So tell us about your business and what services that you offer.
So Purple RX, I offer services basically on one, and so my one-on-one, we can be looking at the emotional health, the mental health. We're looking at it from a holistic perspective to see how we can help you heal, because the thing about it is healing is going to be an individual, it's going to be an individual journey for each person. So each
Mm-hmm.
person's can look different, but I really want people to be a big part of their own healing.
Yeah.
Because in American society, in our society, and in our health society, we've taught people that if we give you this, if you do this, if you listen to the doctor, that's all you need to do. And
Yeah.
a big part of health is, do you know what's going on with your body?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, are you listening to your body? Do you know what's really agitating your stomach? Do you know what you eat that really is where things started off? Do you know when you get hives, why you got hives? Was it because you ate that thing or you drank this or do you know what
Right.
the side effects are if you're taking this medication or even herb? Do you know what's really going on with your body, or are you at a loss? Because even in the healthcare, even in the Western healthcare industry, I need your help. I can't
Mm-hmm.
do this alone, because at the end of the day, you have to do the work. You have to
Yeah.
do the work of changing your diet. You have to do the work of understanding what works with your body and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Because you know more times than I do not. I'm just guiding you along that trail to say, this is what it looks like. This is what these together can look like. It can look like a deficiency of vitamin B. It can look like a deficiency of this. I'm helping guide you along so that when you see it, we're just working on you together, and you are
Mm-hmm.
understanding you more. You are understanding what your body reacts to, even from an emotional standpoint. What is important, because your body, like when they say your body keeps the score, so what's important is your emotions are telling you what is not conducive, what environment is not conducive to your body. And I think a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people miss that out, like where some people are continuing to be in environments that bring them anxiety or trigger their
Yeah.
trauma, and they don't even know what their triggers are, and those things are important to know, and I need you to know that, and I'm bringing that to your awareness, so it's like a team effort.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to get into the American health system and the war on food. What is your perspective on the American health system and how it's impacting society, especially in regards to Black people?
It's never been for us. We've always been the experiment within it.
Hmm.
We were the ones to make, I mean, just about everybody at every place, at every age, at every start, they have been experimenting on us in one way or another. They have
Hmm.
been trying to use us as a reason to do something or not do something, say we're the problem or say we're the issue, because
Hmm.
of the structure of our body. So it was always kind of set up against us. And even
Hmm.
in their teachings, it was set up against us. But what people don't know is we were the first ones to be discriminated against. But that, if you pay attention, over time, that expands.
Right.
That expands. We're just the start of it, but it expands to everybody as a whole.
Yeah.
At this point, not everybody is getting good service. You can see a lot of doctors that don't care, people that are just there for the money, people that are there for the power, and you can see that. But that was happening already in the original structure that was set up for us, and that was not benefiting African Americans. So
Right.
when we said something, it had nothing to do with it's just us. It has something to do with this is where it starts, because they always put us at the bottom of the totem pole. So
Yeah.
don't think it's not going to touch you. So no offense, it's just never been for us. Even in their teachings, even if you're Black, and the teachings that a lot of them teach, it wasn't for us. And a lot of them are under the thing, well, you're just not doing this, because they give you that information. Well, in certain schools. Now, my school was a predominantly Black school, so we were there to feed and to serve African American people, just point blank, period, and
Mm-hmm.
what we see and what we need to deal with and what studies we need to do. So we were looking of what we were dealing with. So we were taught a little bit of herbals. We were taught a few other things that we would see and that we would go into. And we were taught cultural competence to know those things and to know how to care for those people. And so
Mm-hmm.
that, along with the empathy I have and wanting people to feel better, because being somebody that's been a patient, I know how it feels. And sometimes in an industry you don't know you've been discriminated against. For a while I didn't know I was discriminated against. I just really didn't pay attention to it because you're
Mm-hmm.
in a vulnerable place. It isn't until you see somebody else getting better treatment or you see somebody else understanding that our American system is just a mess. And it's been, but if you can tell, it's kind of been a mess.
Yeah, it's been a mess.
But
Yeah.
it's been a mess, but nobody wanted to see that. Everybody wanted to be like, well, black people are just complaining. No, we're not.
No.
If people have to be on the phone with a loved one to feel safe, if black women are really needing avocation and they're dying because, excuse me, I don't know if I can say that on here, if they are dying off because of situations, because of poor care,
Yeah.
don't think it's not just going to happen to you if you're a different race. Don't think you're not superior. This is all about a money thing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, it's how much money. And at this point, they've all become conglomerates and businesses. They're your top companies. And your top companies aren't pharmacy. Your top companies aren't doctors. Your top companies are insurance companies
Mm-hmm.
and hospitals that really own the insurance conglomerate. And that is who is leading us into the future. Not people who really care about healthcare, but people who care about that dollar.
Mm, yeah, absolutely. And I've seen cases like, I see like on social media about certain cases with black women being discriminated, black people being discriminated in, in those environments, in hospitals and trying to get care and, and it's like, there has been certain people in the medical field that have opened up about the healthcare system, especially how it treats black people. And the thing is, this has been going on for going back to slavery and how we were treated and how we were experimented on from top to bottom. So it's like there has to be a thing where and I like where there's a thing where there's more black people that's getting more into herbalism and holistic health, like yourself and
Mhm.
Herb Gotti and other people practicing natural herbs, saying, hey, this could help for this or this could help for that. So I'm glad we have more of those.
Yeah. And the thing about Herb Gotti, he probably caught it earlier than I did. I guess I have this whimsical thinking that, well, I can get in this industry and change it and have people see a different way.
Mm,
And when I got in it was like, no. It was a fight. It was a big fight because it was like I had to quit jobs to be like, okay, y'all are going against the law. Y'all are caring less about patients. Point
mm,
blank period. We're not going to do this. Y'all are about to close down. And the funny thing is they did. So
mm,
so the thing is, yeah, a lot of people have caught it early, but I thought I could, being, I guess, young and naive in a way, I thought, okay, I could do some work in it. I could change it. I can have people see it a different way. And
mm,
I think in some way I may have,
mm.
but it's more of people see me different from the actual society than me trying to change the trajectory of pharmacy and the healthcare industry.
Yeah, right, exactly. So you talk about foods. One of you talked about foods that help with stress. So for someone who's struggling with stress, anxiety, and depression, what are some of the best foods for stress or like mental health?
Leafy greens are going to be important. Things that are higher in magnesium. A lot of times, what people don't know is magnesium is going to be an important mineral that a lot of people are missing. People are dehydrated. And a
Hmm.
lot of our soil is missing a lot of magnesium and nutrients in it because we grow one after the other, after the other, after the other. There's no rest in between, there's no replenishment of the soil. And then it's heavily sprayed. So, magnesium is something that is important a lot of times to your mood. And things that are high in magnesium, dark chocolate, a lot
Hmm.
of people, it's got to be 70 to 80%, 70 to like 85% of cocoa in that dark chocolate. It might be
Hmm.
bitter, but bitter foods are going to be great for your digestion. Bitter foods are also good. That's also going to be great for your mood, and it's going to
Right.
be great for your muscles. So magnesium is important. Also making sure that you have things like vitamin C, so citrus fruits, peppers, leafy greens. Leafy greens will be your friend.
Mm,
Also things with B vitamins in it. Leafy greens are high B in high in vitamins and minerals, period. A,
Yeah.
C, B, and those are all good for your skin. A B complex. There's even a stress B complex with a higher panthoic acid is a supplement if you
Mhm.
need something outside of that. But you can also find you can also find B vitamins in nutritional yeast and different things like that. You can put nutritional yeast on your
Mhm.
broccoli, put nutritional yeast in different places. Beans are great. Things like beans and making sure you have enough of those. Vitamin D, a lot of us aren't going out in the sun enough.
Mhm.
A lot of us aren't spending enough time. Now, if you are somebody that is, maybe you have drugs that are photosensitive. So, photosensitive is where you are going to be more sensitive to the sun. You can have reactions, it can make you nauseous, it can give you a headache, give you rashes. Sometimes taking a vitamin D supplement, if you can't get out and get enough sun, is going to be helpful to you. So,
Mhm.
making sure you do things like that. But magnesium plays a huge part as well as vitamin C, making sure you have enough vitamin C, citrus fruits, oranges, throw that in there, mangoes, things like that. Those are all important, as well as to the skin.
Yeah, absolutely. So you also talked about the different types of fiber. So for someone who's struggling with also with fiber intake, what will be some of the forms of soluble fiber?
So they soluble and inside. So soluble be like apples. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, and it should
Mm.
be more than one. But
Yeah, yeah.
apples play a huge part, especially like the apple peel. The pectin in apple and in other foods are going to be great to feed your digestive system, and it's also going to be great to help clean it out because prebiotics are the ones that feed the bacteria that is helping to clean up your gut, helping to break food down, helping to do all the work. They need to be fed too. You can't not feed your workers because they're gonna take off because
Mm.
they're doing the work of your body of cleaning all these things out and doing the job of making good bacteria. Prebiotics also help to make the good bacteria. Let's keep it going as we feed more and more will come, more and more will develop, more and more will break
Mhm.
apart and make more. So that's why prebiotic fiber. Orange peel is also boab fruit, akasi, like those little
Acai.
I think some acai, I can never say it. The little sometimes they have the little frozen version. You can make a acai bowl, things like that. Goji berries, I think, are also even good. Those things are going to help. I would also look at chia seeds. Chia
Mm.
seeds are going to be a great source of a great source of fiber as well as vitamin E. And a lot of us
Mm.
need vitamin E. It's even been seen to help not only with your gut but also with your liver. A lot of things that are helping with your gut and helping in that fibrous area are also helping to cleanse and detox your liver and play
Mm.
that job and take so much work off of your body and helping it to detox and clean itself out.
Yeah, absolutely, most definitely. So in TikTok, there's been a lot of conversation surrounding beauty and wellness. So in what ways does beauty correlate with health and wellness?
So beauty is going to be of course, to me, beauty's in the eye of beholder, but beauty is going to play a part as in a lot of times people see beauty as health. What is your health looking like? What are you eating? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of your skin? Because what we have to realize is a lot of times if we are taking care of ourselves, it usually comes out. Whether we're taking care of ourselves mentally and emotionally, whether we're taking care of ourselves physically with what we eat or working out, that's going to represent as a glow in beauty. A
Hmm.
lot of times that glow that people sometimes naturally have when you're developing a new child, when you've got a great workout routine, when you're in love, that means those are emotional points. That means those hormonal points are right because you have this glow that your body is at a balance and your body is developing in the way that it needs to, as well as breaking things down. So it's kind of in a healthy state. So
Hmm.
beauty, I think sometimes the industry still separates it because a lot of times what we've gotten into sometimes is the overuse of outward things to make beauty, like let me regenerate my skin with peels and doing different things like that. So some people focus more on the outside and what I need to do to my skin and what I need to do here. But a lot of that, some of that really does help and play with what's going on in the inside. So
Right.
some people need to deal more so with what's going on in the inside and then work from the inside out,
Hmm.
and that'll really help in the beauty and wellness industry. But they really go together. I just say don't get caught up in the trends. One, it'll take a lot of your money because I've been a junkie. I've been a product junkie before. I've been a junkie to be like, let me go get this, go get that. And sometimes
Yeah.
it's not even what you need, and you will have to understand. Start from within. Start from what you're eating and drinking. Start from what your intake is going. Start for your mental and emotional health. It will show outside very quickly. It'll change your hair. That's what a lot of these glow ups are about.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of glow ups and changing their hair, finding out what works for your face or not for your face, what works for your hair. How does your hair work? Working in that realm. How does your skin work? What does it need? What nourishes it?
Mm-hmm.
How does it react to certain things? Really finding out what works for you and not just so much getting into what's new in the wellness industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how would you define beauty?
Like I said, beauty is it to me in the eye of beholder. That's how I see it. Because everybody's like, oh, beauty's objective. No, it's subjective to me. Because
Mm-hmm.
every subject can find something beautiful in somebody. And I really think again, beauty starts from the inside out. You can
Mm-hmm.
really see it in the attitude somebody has. And don't get me wrong, there are some messed up people that are beautiful, but you'll usually be able to see it in a little bit as you get to know them, and as time goes on, you'll be able to see it. They start to become not that beautiful of a person to you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we just equate beauty as, oh, their eyes are symmetrical,
Mm-hmm.
oh, their face looks pretty symmetrical. So I do also think that there are some people that are just maybe objectively beautiful
Mm-hmm.
across the line, across the board, but I
Mm-hmm.
still think it's in the eye of the beholder. So if somebody is not finding you beautiful, there's going to be somebody that is. And sometimes all you need to do is maybe do some small changes. If you don't think, start within, start with liking yourself, not if somebody else likes you. Start with liking who you are and what is going to how to start it within, because if you like what you are, it's going to shine, it's going to show
Mm-hmm.
when you like what you are, because you're going to start taking care of those things.
Mm-hmm. Now, where do you see holistic health? Where do you see holistic health in the next 5 years?
I think that's if America can capitalize it, I think that's going to be the health. Sorry to say, if America can capitalize off it, but there are parts of it America cannot capitalize off of.
Mm-hmm.
So they've kind of gotten into the wellness industry, but I think it's going to expand, and I hope it expands more, and I hope people see it more from a holistic perspective, because it's
Mm-hmm.
expanding now. I really, like I said, I got into it even though I was already doing things in that way. I just added the title. I got into it. And I think more and more people are going down the naturopathic path, the holistic path, going down the herbal path, because they're seeing health now as a whole body thing, as what's the root cause, which they never were seeing it before. Now,
Mm-hmm.
how hard is America going to fight? Because in other countries, that's how they look at health. How hard is America going to fight? I don't know. I don't know how that's going to be. But I see more and
Mm-hmm.
more people wanting to go into the holistic field, as well as more people wanting to deal with holistic natural doctors, because they have not gotten the results or the help that they need in Western medicine. And I do think Western medicine will still be around, because it's more of a emergent kind of thing, more of a when you haven't cared for yourself, or you've missed something, or there's something that you did not know,
Right.
it's going to be needed. Like, I had to have a transplant, I didn't know until it was in stage, you know. And a lot of people, so it saved my life in that way. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of life saving is where Western medicine can help, and us going in between both is going to be important, and knowing how to go in between both.
Mm-hmm. So, what is your take on tech and how it's impacting the American health industry in your perspective?
uh Tech, I think people think tech is really going to take over, but there is only, to me, there's only so much that tech can do. I think tech is beneficial, it's beautiful, it's been beautiful in pharmacy. It allows us, I work in a psych hospital, it allows us to not, a pharmacist not to have to be there every second, to have to go
Mm-hmm.
drop a drug off. You can pull
Mm-hmm.
it from a machine, I can know who pulled it, I can have more control. So tech is going to be beneficial in that way. Tech is also beneficial in new machine designs, in naturopathic help, in functional medicine, and a lot of those things, the machine designs that are designed to act like the waves and frequency of basically outside, like when you go in grounding, basically like grounding in a place where you may not be able to ground. Technology is helping in that, and technology
Mm-hmm.
is expanding how you can travel and give these meds off. So I think technology will be a beautiful thing in some aspects. It's also giving people uh, a way to actually see doctors maybe in a more economical way by doing telehealth and getting what they need in different ways and being able to talk. Technology is helping me talk to people in other states and other places. So because the thing about it is, I think what people don't see is it's not about it. a relationship with your healthcare practitioner is just like any other relationship. You have to find somebody that works with you, that's compatible with you, that can speak your language. And somebody that speaks your language may not be in your area, they may be in some other area. So it
Mhm.
allows there to be more expansive view and an expansive collection of people that you can pick from. And you can see people from many different places and have better
Mhm.
access.
So what has been some of like the conversations or big success stories surrounding like your services?
So I had so what I originally started off with, I started doing this for my family. I remember, it all depends on the work you want to do. Like my stepdad, got him off of cholesterol meds, high blood pressure meds, and he straight up was a okay with that. I think he got a little bit back on cholesterol meds, but he knows how to control those things and when those things are out of control, or what he needs to change, or what's going on, or the stress that may be affecting that. He knows how to what he's starting to have to deal with. I've
Mhm.
also had success stories where people had a lot of eczema or atopic dermatitis, and really it was just a simple diet change, and people are really understanding and being happy and empowered in their own health. And that's just something that's important to me, knowing that, okay, cheese is probably the problem. Maybe the diet I'm eating is problem. Maybe I need more of this and less of that. I need to eat more of this. I need to make sure that my gut is taken care of. A lot of people's guts have been healed, and understanding that, because a lot of disease starts with your liver and your gut. A lot of
Mhm.
disease starts with the depletion of it, the breakage or wreckage of it, the inundated. If it's too inundated in your liver, that's where it can start. And I think people are understanding their bodies more. Somebody's eczema, and I mean, she had some serious eczema. She was itching every few seconds. She's tried every medicine, and it just
Mhm.
did not work. And she was like, the itching is gone. My skin is better. Um, she said, you have tremendously helped. And I think it was just tremendously helped her. And there was also somebody on another video where her blood sugar was immensely high, and all she had to do was add some prebiotic fiber in, and her blood sugar has gone down, and it's helped with some of the weight. And now she's doing things to help with other parts of her weight, because sometimes there's one thing that's in the way that, if we get that out of the way, because it's an emergent thing, then we can work on the other things so much easier and in our time.
Absolutely. Now, how do you balance being a holistic pharmacist with life and mental health?
Ooh, so the holistic pharmacist thing kind of helped my mental health. This has been more of
Mhm.
my realm than the other way, because the other way it seemed more like I was fighting people's egos, I was fighting people wanting to be right, I was
Mhm.
fighting people, and I still find some of that, but I was fighting people more so in I'm right, you're wrong, this is how it needs to be done, this is the only way we do it. And it was people not really caring for people and patients. So honestly, this has benefited my mental health more than actually doing regular pharmacy, because regular pharmacy
Yeah.
can be stressful. Regular pharmacy is, you are seeing people with 30, 40 drugs a day. I worked in hospice and long-term care, so I worked with the dead and the dying a lot. I worked with people that were like older and taking 30 and 40 drugs, and you're like, oh my goodness, let's get rid of this, we got to get rid of that, why are they taking all of this, well, why are they doing this, this is causing their falls. And really going through and seeing like what people are going through here, I feel like I'm helping to people to see themselves a lot better, helping people to understand themselves a lot better, and that has helped me. And also, in building this business, it's given me more time to see how I can work on me, how I can improve me. But I took that, I actually like had to quit for a while and took that time. And I'm still kind of working part time so that I can make money as I build this up. But it is allowed me to see how can I work differently. Because I took that time, I've had to learn, how can I work differently? How can I give to people but not give everything I have of me? And where can I put up boundaries? Where can I do those things? So holistic wellness and starting my own has really helped me in doing that.
Mm. Last but not least, where can people find you on social media, and how can people get in contact with you?
You can find me on social media at Purple RX Apothecary. I think that's how it comes up. Also, even on here,
Mhm.
you can find me at on YouTube. You can find me at Purple RX. I do videos. I'm also going to start posting my lives. I'm gonna have to do a better job at that, posting my lives, and maybe doing longer videos, longer form videos over here. You can also find me on TikTok at Purple RX Apothecary, as well as Instagram Purple RX Apothecary. I'm not always on Instagram. I need to do better about that. Um, you can, and in that, you can find my email in both of those. You can also find a way. There's going to be a link tree in there to get you to finding my health consultations. And as I get more money and I get more clients, I'm also going to work on a line. And my line may include is going to not may, but it's going to include some health and beauty things as well.
That's great.
Supplements, different things, health and beauty things as well. Nails, hair, kind of a
Mm.
big thing in my family, so it's been natural to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Renata, for jumping on. I love this conversation. I ran into you when you had a conversation. It was with you or guiding another person. It was like a TikTok live.
Tashi Wellness.
Yeah, Tashi Wellness. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed this conversation. You talked about your experience and your points of view about the healthcare industry, especially holistic health as well. And I like how people are getting more into wellness the holistic way. So I thank you so much again for this wonderful conversation.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate that. I really like this. And I
Yeah.
like your hat.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care and stay beautiful.